I say, welcome to the program we call Illumination from Sunset Lodge number 369 right here in Santa Monica. The sunshine is back and we are happy. Now, as always, the most important thing for our program, we love to share our people and our teachers who come by. Most importantly is what you want. And what I want you to do, you'll see the email address down at the bottom, down here at some time. Write it down, send us an email about what you want to find out more about. We have just finished having a third degree here at Sunset Lodge. I mean, we're just really kind of loosening up from it now. And we are honored to have the man of the hour, our brother Ray Davis, who received his third degree just moments ago.
Just moments ago, that's right.
All right, tell us what's going on in your head now. You know, I want to find out a few other things, but how you doing?
I'm on top of the world right now. I'm so happy and thrilled. I'm still reeling from the experience.
Right.
And overall looking forward to being of even more service here at Sunset Lodge and being able to fully participate as a complete member of the lodge here. And I'm just so happy.
You know, there are very few people I could say this about, but I don't know how you could be more involved in what we're doing. You know, you're always there. Now, Brother Ray, he's a fellow hat wearer, so, you know, and he's responsible for getting us a hat rack. So,
Yeah.
God love you, brother.
Well, I know what it's like to have a hat and not any place to hang it.
I
so,
know.
yeah.
There you go. All right. Now, I want to find out a little bit about your background.
Oh, okay.
What brought you around? What brought you to Santa Monica? Are you from this area, or where are you from?
Well, originally, I grew up in Compton.
Okay.
So that's not that far from here. It's about 30 miles, I guess, south, mostly south of here. So I grew up in the Southland, and but I came to this lodge at the invitation of actually Worshipful Neil. David and I have known each other for years. We played music together. We met at the Agape International Spiritual Center, where he's a member of the house band there, and I get to sing there from time to time as I'm a singer-songwriter type, and we're actually we're in a band together.
Sure.
And so after many conversations about a number of things, because I've been involved in some esoteric studies for a number of years now, and after a number of conversations, I guess he got the idea that I might make a good Mason. And so he invited me to come on out and meet some of the brothers here at Sunset, and I did, and instantly just fell in love with the place.
I remember when you first came around. It's like, this is the man. This is the man for us. So, was there any history in your family in Masonry, or anyone that you know of in your family that was a Mason?
No one close to me, but my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, was a Mason.
Right.
Now, this is it's an interesting thing to me that I grew up a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, nice Protestant denomination, and my mother did not want to tell me too much about Masonry, because maybe it's the same as it is with many people. They have misunderstandings or superstitions about it. But my grandfather was a Mason. She said that there were things that he wouldn't talk to her about, but that he had a way of, she was a little suspicious about it. So yeah, I have a grandfather, but he never talked to me about it. So my real interest in Masonry has to do with the esoteric studies that I've been involved in.
Tell me about that.
Well, the Agape International Spiritual Center, where I attend more often than not, is part of the New Thought movement, which is specific to North America. Really, it's a spiritual movement that began with... They trace their history back to the Transcendentalists of the late 19th century. But the principles and the ideas that are contained in New Thought really owe their allegiance or owe their origins to really ageless wisdom teachings that have been held within, a number of different societies, secret societies, throughout the ages. And so what I have found is that the teachings, the principles that are presented in the symbolism of Freemasonry and in the rituals of Freemasonry are very much in alignment with what I've been studying. And not only that, they expand on it. What I love about Freemasonry is that it takes these wonderful ageless principles and shows their a practical application. I'm becoming a better man. And by becoming a better man, I'm better suited to be of service in the community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. There's the spiritual principles you're picking up on a daily basis. Now, tell me what it was like going through each of the degrees you went through. Now, there's the first, the entered apprentice. Second one is the fellow craft, and then there's the Master Mason, which moments ago you finished. So tell us a little bit about your journey up through the degrees.
Well, oh my goodness. Entered apprentice degree, brand new. It's first time experience of any kind of initiatory process, really. And the moment, how much can I speak to?
Speak on, and if there's any problem, we'll
all right.
Brother Michael's at the seat. He knows how to edit. So
all right.
Don't worry.
So what I can say is this. I learned, oh my gosh, the power of initiation. Yeah. The transformative power of initiation.
Yes.
An initiatory process. There's an instant transformation. I really felt as though I started the evening one person and really transformed into something else, the beginning of something else. And so that process, it was mind-blowing, a new experience, a wonderful experience, but also, like I said, transformative. And one of the things that was strongly impressed on me was the gravity of my decision, the importance of my decision. I was instructed to keep secret and sacred practices, ideas, things that I could only reveal in lodge with fellow brothers.
Right.
That and I've never forgotten that first vow. It's so important to me. Secrecy and the support of my brothers. The love, the relief. So I don't know if I'm answering your question. I hope I'm trying.
Preach on, brother. You're doing great. By the way, before we hit the second degree, I just want to remind everybody that you are watching and or listening to Illumination from Sunset Lodge number 369, emanating from Santa Monica, California. Now, you don't know this, but it's a little later than what it normally is. Right here, even West Coast time, this is late.
Yeah, it's a little late.
So it's right after the evening, right at the end of the evening, and we just finished the third degree, and Brother Ray is our awesome brand new Master Mason, and we are so honored to have you about. Now, tell us a little bit about second degree.
Oh my gosh, I so enjoyed. Yeah,
my favorite.
Yeah, and you told me beforehand, and I really understand why. Oh my gosh, I so loved that degree. Yeah. I loved that degree. There's such rich information there, and not just that. I really began to see how the symbolism in Masonry shows up in somewhat different forms in some of the other esoteric teachings. For instance, I'm a person who is involved in tarot. I use the tarot decks, specifically the 22 trumps, for meditative purposes. And I found so much correspondence between what I find in Tarot, and the Trumps specifically, and the symbolism Masonry, and the connection, the correspondence then added to the practice in each area.
Yes.
Oh, and there's nothing that could have prepared me for that, for that awakening when going through the degree.
I don't know if Brother Ray knows this, but my wife and I have been professional tarot readers for 23 years. And between the two of us, we've done probably between, we think, 40 and 50,000 readings for people.
Wow.
So we must sit down and compare notes about tarot at some point. I'm sure it'll be a fascinating conversation.
Yeah. We must.
I know we're getting away from the subject a little bit, but may I also piggyback on what he did? I had the honor of he taught me his method of what he does, and it just lays out so simply and easily what he does. But it's so profound. It's a system that him and his wife developed. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We can't take full credit for it because we got a lot of it by studying Crowley's work on the tarot. And I always tell people the good news with the Book of Thoth is the good news it's by Crowley and the bad news it's by Crowley.
Yeah.
So a lot of riddle and metaphor. It took us about 2 years, but there's an interesting story. We were doing a party one night in Beverly Hills, and we were using his deck. And the last person I did a reading for that night was a Kabbalistic rabbi. And he noticed the Hebrew letters on the cards. He got very excited. I said, well, it's Kabbalah, that there's 22 major cards. Each one correlates with one of the pathways. So he said, well, lay it out for me. So I did. He said, now explain it to me. And I thought, this ought to be rich. I have to explain Kabbalah to a rabbi.
Really?
And no pressure here, right?
None.
Right.
And so I explained to him, and we've never really classically studied Kabbalah, only through the tarot. So I explained to him kind of our conclusions on it, and he listened intently. And after I finished, he said, well, let's just say you have your own way of putting things. He said that we would use slightly different terminology. He said, but everything you're saying is absolutely correct. He said, your principles are very sound. It's just a slightly different way of expressing it, but that is what it means. And so it was a great affirmation for me that we hadn't wasted a whole bunch of years of our life.
There you go.
And so I was pretty happy about that.
Oh, that's brilliant. But this is exactly what I was saying about about the second degree.
Right.
The language isn't always exactly the same, but it's the principle where it connects. And here's what's interesting to me. Where I'm seeing, my study of tarot is one thing, but Masonry brings it in and takes it into a different direction for me. It adds to my understanding of tarot. It adds to what, one thing to know about tarot though, it's a self-revealing kind of thing. As I'm working with a card, there's going to be something that comes through me. It's something that So, but so my work with tarot. Here's the conclusion. My work with tarot has been greatly enhanced with my being a Mason. By my being a Mason.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Ray, I wish you had something to talk about. I actually had the feeling maybe we can do 10 minutes and patch it in with something else. So I just wish you could come up and have a thought. Now, I mentioned earlier that the second degree is my favorite. The rich meaning of what I participate in, and that is beyond anything that I could ever imagine. I highly suggest anyone, you might not be a part of our lodge, you might be part of another lodge. If you're just starting out, fairly new, please become the senior deacon of your lodge. It's a very, very special position. No, I can't memorize all that. No, don't even look at it that way. And that's what I did. I just memorized little bits and pieces before you know it. No time at all, I had it all done. What's more importantly are the lessons that you are learning are becoming a part of you.
Yeah.
I know at first I was reciting it to people, and very quickly I realized I was telling it to people.
There it is. Yeah.
And the more I tell it to people, the more it became a part of who I am.
That's right.
So please do, if you ever have that opportunity to become the senior deacon, please do it. And if the opportunity doesn't come forth, you create it. You get out there and make it done. All right, tell me a little bit about the bridge between the second degree and the third degree.
The bridge between.
Does that make sense? Yeah, you know where I'm coming from.
I think I do. Yeah. Oh, you said bridge too. So,
yeah.
Well, that's a wonderful question, because for me, the second degree actually increased my appetite, my interest in becoming a Master Mason.
Right.
I wanted to know what the secrets are. I wanted the full revelation, so to speak. I'm remembering something from the second degree that something has just come to my mind.
Right.
The steps. And so I've been envisioning myself progressing up the winding staircase, realizing that there's an intention behind that. One never walks up a flight of stairs unless one has a destination in mind.
That's right.
And it was that destination. There was something pulling me and calling me. But I also began to notice not that this is not something to rush. And every step along the way, I now have an opportunity to look back and see what progress I've made personally.
Oh,
in transferring,
that's a huge step.
Yeah, transferring the principles that are taught in Masonry to my personal life. It has to have lifeblood in me.
Right.
Yeah, it has to have some. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. Now let's add back on some thoughts about your third degree tonight. It was an honor, by the way. Let you know, I've said this in the lodge, and I'll say it outside the lodge. It was truly a huge honor to be a part of your third degree tonight. And it was great,
It really was.
You know how we are. We like to pick on you about it beforehand and throw in some things that really have nothing to do with it. Us guys being guys.
Yeah, they had me going.
But I just, it's a wonderful thing. It just kind of brings everything together. And, just.
Here's what I can say.
Okay.
Here's one thing I can say. First of all, I don't know that I can put into words what I've felt in the experience.
Yeah.
But there are a few things I can say. I was completely. I did not know what to expect. And yet, when things happened, as things occurred, I felt as though I was prepared. Strange thing.
No,
I still
totally understand.
Yeah, I still felt. I felt as though I was prepared. And there's an element to that degree and the ritual where I'm able to really observe and understand what the Apostle Paul must have meant, some extent to what he meant when he wrote that I die daily. I die daily. There's a process of letting go of that which was before and being born again to that which is new. Yeshua, or Jesus,
yes.
Spoke of that. You must be born again.
Right.
In order to see the kingdom, you have to be born again. And
yes.
It's not going through the womb again,
no,
obviously, but there is a transformation, a kind of pushing away from that which was before. And that which was before is a way of looking at life and others as the other. Whereas Masonry is suggesting to me we are really one family.
Yes.
And so I'm going to treat my brothers and sisters on the planet in a different way. I'm going to treat with compassion, with kindness, with mercy, standing up when necessary, where there are abuses. But I'm going to start from a point of view of love.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, I say this every so often. The most important lesson I see in Masonry are the three basic principles: brotherly love, relief, and truth. And I think it's so important to kind of piggyback on that principle you were talking about, bringing this all together for brotherly love. It's so important. The principles we learn within the lodge, what we feel about the brothers within the lodge with us, what we feel about that, we take that and spread it into the world in our relief. What we do for the community, for the world. And I truly believe if we don't have that brotherly love in the beginning, I go back to a passage in 1 Corinthians 13. If you haven't loved, then all this is just clanging bells, noise.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, become as a Though I speak with tongues of men and angels, it's just noise. I'm just making a bunch of noise.
Yeah, so I think that's what happens a lot of times, is we're not building that brotherly love within the lodge, really caring. A lot of times, and so easily to happen, there's a lot of bickering and biting and backbiting and so forth. You might as well not do anything. You're wasting your money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my opinion. So, but you need to build that brotherly love inside. Not only will it nurture everybody inside, but the work you do is magnified, and the people will see what you are doing. And to be honest, we won't have any nights where we'll have free. We'll have a degree every night. And I think that is the secret to what we need. Just one person's opinion, so.
Well, that's one thing I love about this lodge.
Yeah.
I mean, I've felt that love right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's easy. When my wife comes here, she says the same thing. You're one of her favorite people, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But she says the same thing. She says the guys, they're just so loving. They're just so cool. They're great guys. And that's really what it is.
Your wife is awesome.
Yes, she is.
She is. Good choice. Now, Mike, how much time do we have? I'm sorry, I don't have my tablet sitting here telling me the time.
Ooh, let's see. You have about 7 minutes left.
All right.
So.
Our Canadian friend. I love a boot. I'm a Texan,
Yeah.
We love to pick on those people. So, those fine people, I might say. So, here we are, and I want to go into a little bit about. I did my entered apprentice in Texas.
Oh wow!
In an old building. It's wonderful, out in the country, northwest of Houston. And this building, I think, was probably one of the original buildings. It was well over 100 years old.
Wow.
And downstairs, they have a dining area and so forth. And you walk upstairs to the lodge room. The lodge room is really small. It is probably a third of the size of our lodge room.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And it's wonderful, but what happens is all the wives and everyone, all the guys, they have a potluck meal. Masons and food.
Oh, yeah.
Always. If you're on a diet,
good luck.
Good luck. But it's everybody has the food. And at high 12, all the men go upstairs. I just thought it was so funny. One of the last times I was there, my part of the joy of my life are my twin nieces. They're 7 years old now, but they were like, a couple of years ago, they were 5 years old. And they came along with us, and all us guys went upstairs. They just didn't understand that. They started crying.
Oh, no.
And they wanted to come up. And they were, what? And before the meeting started, I looked over, and they were walking over
oh
to.
My gosh.
And I sat down with the girls. I said, "Girls, Uncle Les wants to talk to you about something." And they said, "Okay." And I said, "You really want to know what Uncle Les, Pawpaw, and your dad do up here? I think you're old enough. I'll let you know what we do up
that's
here."
good. That's good.
And I said, your dad is working his best to be the best dad he could be. Papa is trying to learn to be the best papa he could be. And you know what? Uncle Les is trying his very best to be the best Uncle Les I could be. And that's what we do up here. That's everything we do up here. So, you know the secret of what we do. And they went, oh,
That
wow.
worked. Wow, that's
Wow. And and I said, why don't you girls go downstairs? We'll be down a little bit. Okay. And they went right on downstairs.
Look at that.
And that's, me and those ladies, I love being an uncle. So, we have a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool. I like how you talk to them about
So
that.
but
that's really it.
Am I right? You could probably talk to, 5-year-old Angel there, Angel girl of mine, or you talk to a PhD professor of philosophy.
See, this is a good thing. Every once in a while, someone will ask me, and about Masonry, and to sum it up and say, I'm just trying to become. I want to become a better man,
Right.
and that's what we get together and do, and that usually suffices for people. Sure, there are things that we do that we keep within ourselves, but it's all with the objective and aim, ultimately, of producing better men.
That's right. That's why.
And what the world needs now is better people.
Right.
So we might as well start with this half of the population.
Well, we'll take care of this.
Yeah, we'll take care
And
of this.
support the women and whatever they want to do to
Absolutely.
become better women.
That's right.
And I love it. I love it. It's funny. My favorite. By the way, Jones boys. I just saw my uncle one time go like that. I said, I do that too, Uncle Richard. Just go like that. That's what Jones boys do. So, but one of my favorite sayings is, "There's nothing." Talk about the secrets within Freemasonry. There's nothing that I do that I would be ashamed of my Grandma Jones knowing about. Let's just set it straight.
That's a good way to put it.
And Granny would not be ashamed of me if she saw me do that.
And it's the truth.
And so, but I love the idea of whatever I'm doing, whichever aspect I'm moving in, it's making me a better person. I am currently working on going up the line to become master in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
That's making me a better person, just that choice. Being senior deacon, it's made me a much better person. And I love that. And you are now going to be inaugurated as the organist. Is that the term?
Yeah, organist. Yeah,
Organist.
I think that would be a wonderful place to serve.
And you'd be great. You and your piano skills. Now we don't have a camera for it, unless Brother Mike, can you get this camera?
Oh, you want to see it, right?
You have to take a look. And is there a way, Mike? Can you get a little bit of a look at this, or is
it there?
Which is the best place for him to look? He got his ring today.
Woohoo!
And I think I would consider it a cigar band type. Nice
I guess
ring.
that would be a good way to put it. Yeah. I've been looking forward to wearing one of these, and this is I just got this from the master, worshipful master tonight, and I'm just so proud.
We're
so proud.
We're proud to have you here. That music means, okay, Les, it's time to start. Brother Ray, it's an honor to have you as a fellow Master Mason, but it's always been great having you around. Thank you for the wonderful spirit you bring to our lodge, and we're much better because of you.
Well, thank you, Brother.
All right, everyone. If you want to find out more information, please do email us, and we'll be glad to talk to you. And as always, thank you to Brother Mike for his input and sitting in the hot seat and producing this. And until next time, thank you very much.